Welcome to season 3 of The Cookie Table. This is a podcast all about love, marriage, weddings, relationships. This is perfect for someone that's getting married, people that just love weddings. Maybe you're a wedding vendor. And this is also about business. My name is Jade Granda. I'm so excited to have you. Grab a glass of wine, grab your favorite cookies from the cookie table, and let's get into it. Leave the bottle here. I'll never judge a refill.
Yeah. No,
so
absolutely.
That will sit right here.
Perfect.
This is for you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Cheers.
Appreciate it. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for being here. Maddy Hernandez with Pastries A-La-Carte. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing very well. How are you?
Good. You are Pastries spokesperson.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Very media trained, huh?
Yeah, it seems like it sometimes.
Well, thank you so much for being here. It means a lot joining the cookie table. You brought scratch jelly tea cookie.
Yes.
So tell people what that is. It sounds silly to ask
It
that,
does.
but what is that?
Yeah, so our jelly tea, it's an almond-based cookie. So it's going to be that nice soft buttery cookie.
Okay.
A little bit of almond, so you've got that sweetness there, but filled with raspberry jelly and then topped with fruit sugar. It's a very, very popular wedding cookie, but just popular cookie every day at the bakery in general.
Yeah.
So go through lots and lots of jelly teas, but we thought it would pair nicely with the Moscato that we brought today. So
Love that.
Yeah, been loving pairing the cookies with the wines and the coffees and all that kind of stuff.
Gotta pair it with wine.
Oh, yeah.
This is our first bakery on the podcast, so
Amazing.
it is really nice to have a bakery come and bring their own cookies.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that.
Exciting.
And to do the wine pairing, again, like Maddy said, this is paired with a sparkling Moscato. So is this like thought out, like Sommelier style thought out?
Yes, yeah, that is more so. That was our Danielle.
Okay.
She's very good with the pairings and whatnot, because she's worked with a few different wineries have done pairings with us in the past.
Okay.
So she had a little bit of that experience too under her belt, pulled from that. But yeah,
I love
that was her idea, and she it's kind of been leading our coffee bar recently too. So she's been doing I think that's a lot of fun, pairing with the different cookies that we have, different cake flavors, stuff like that with the coffees. So,
Very fun.
Trying to branch out. Yeah.
Did she give any information as to why she chose a sparkling Moscato with this?
Yeah, the nice little bright fruity tones, and then the sparkling goes really well with the raspberry, but they're just both very bright, so they just complement each other very nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You came prepared with that. I love that. Very good. Yes, I love wine, so that's why we do this on the podcast.
Yeah. Amazing.
Can't ignore it. So Pastries A-La-Carte began with Kathy Batis, correct?
Correct, yeah.
She baked from her home and officially opened the storefront in April of 2004, which is crazy.
Yes.
You're located on Clairton Boulevard in the Pleasant Hills. Is that your only location?
Yes.
Okay.
Currently.
Okay. Currently, right?
Who knows? Yeah.
But hey, it seems like that's all you need, huh?
Right? Yeah.
Maddy, you run the cookie room.
Yeah.
Was what I was told.
Yes.
What does that entail? What does that mean?
That's always so crazy to say to people, what do you do for a living? I'm like, I run the cookie room. But yeah, running the cookie room, pretty much what it entails is I oversee my department, and that is responsible for any of our cookies, any of our fancy cookies, our flat cookies. I personally do a lot of the ice cutout cookies, cookie cakes, brownie cakes. So literally anything that has to do with a cookie or a lady lock or anything of the sort is what I oversee and what I handle. So that goes for wholesale, that goes for our customers, weddings, and filling the store as well.
Okay.
And our bakery is actually broken down like that. So it's we have a cookie department, we have a cake department, we've got our packaging, and then we've got our production area. So obviously all together we're that little well-oiled machine, but yeah, that's kind of how it's broken down, and I oversee that department, but I've done a little bit of everything. So it's like, I know the front, I know the back, I know cake, I know. Yeah. So it's all of our leads are like that. So it's very helpful to kind of, have that different insight, but yeah, I oversee cookies.
That's a fun job.
It is. It is very fun to say, yeah, I get to ice cookies for a living. So
tell me, how long have you been there?
I've been there since 2023. May 2023. So yeah, we're going to be on 3 years in May.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've overseen that department for 3 years now. So
You are also the official bakery of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Again, what does that mean?
Yeah. So
What does that entail?
Yeah, we are the official bake shop of the Pittsburgh Penguins. We are in a partnership with them. We have been in a partnership with them since we opened about in 2004. So it's going on 22 years now. But we are locked in with the Penguins. So that means that every game, our sweets are going to be featured there on the suite level. And then in the different suites as well. They can also order directly from us if there's any like special events going on, like the concerts and whatnot. Even when Fleury came back recently, like his family was there. So we got to do stuff for like Fleury's family, or they'll have, Christmas parties, whatever it may be. So it's really cool to have that partnership. And then that has also led to like partnerships with Acrisure Stadium. We're with PNC Park. Different colleges around the area, Jefferson Hospital. So it's like we're everywhere. But Penguins is definitely, we've gotten a lot of different partnerships from that as well. So
do you know how that originally came about? Did the Penguins approach pastries?
Yeah, it's all Kathy.
Okay.
Kathy, you said it was pretty much as soon as we opened, she had that partnership with Jefferson.
Okay.
And then she was approached about the partnership with the Penguins. So I don't know if it was from, family, friends, stuff like that, or if it was through Jefferson and the business as well. But she was approached and has been in that partnership since then, and then has led to whole bunch of other partnerships. But it's very interesting, and it's so cool to have that and be like, we're so involved with these sports teams. And, it's really cool. So it's that Pittsburgh pride. It's very interesting. But she's had that since the beginning.
That's amazing. That's a really, really cool one. But once one opportunity opens many doors, as it has obviously for you guys, that's awesome. So obviously, again, having a bakery on the podcast, with this being, wedding driven, there's going to be a lot of wedding questions. Okay. A lot that I want to pick your brain on here, Maddy, if you're ready.
Yeah, I was excited.
Good. So first things first, are wedding cakes do you think they're becoming decor more than people are seeking out the cake for the dessert purpose?
Yeah, I thought that was a very interesting question, because I think that wedding cakes have always been more of a decor type thing, but it is very much so now, I feel, especially with today's economy, but it's like you very much so sometimes have to make that decision of do I want something that looks beautiful and people are going to remember forever, and like I'm going to have pictures of forever, or do I want something that tastes good, or maybe both? But I think that definitely it does come down to being it's something that it's like you can't miss out on at your wedding. It's like it seems to be like just as important as the dress sometimes, almost, is having like this big gorgeous wedding cake. And yes, they get very obviously very particular about it with matching whatever style aesthetic to your wedding. But like I do think that they have become, like I said, just as important as your dress or the different decor that's going around. But it's like I said, I think it's kind of right now you're kind of having to pick one over the other. But I think it's always kind of been that way, especially when you think about like the big old like the way back I know we're gonna the vintage piping.
Yes.
That's been a major resurgence.
Yes.
But when you had like I'm trying to think of like, it was in the 70s, 80s wedding cakes with the columns on the side that comes in the center. And it's like,
insane.
So it's always been, it's been decor, but it's, I just feel like, you go through these different variations in time of being like, how important is it? But.
Right. It's a good point.
Yeah. I think so.
With it being decor, are you finding that more couples care more about the way it looks than it tastes? Like, are couples coming in for a tasting, they're just like, or like totally not even doing a tasting because they just care about the way it looks?
It is really funny because every couple is so different.
So different.
So you will get a couple that comes in and their tasting will be very quick and to the point, and they know what flavor they want, they know what design they're going for. It's pretty much just finalizing, colors and pricing and all of that with Kathy. She's usually the one that does our consultations. You will get some of those consultations. They're like, man, they're still over there talking about like what shade of, magenta that they want on this cake. And even, coming to pickups. It's from the time that the cake is designed to the time it's picked up, where even still sometimes when the cake is picked up, they want to make tweaks or being like, well, this gold's slightly, a little off from the gold that I thought. And it is, they are paying for it. And it is something like we were just talking about being that design piece and that decor element of, it needs to be spot on, just like everything else in the wedding. So, everyone's so different. But I definitely feel like it is, it is just as important that you get that look down because, that's what they're anticipating. And that is going to be like a piece of their wedding. So I definitely think, it varies, but
definitely right.
It varies, but it's fun to see too because you definitely do get I do love the couples that will just come and give you their color palette and be like, here, do what you want, and like here's our flavors, but like we trust you guys, do what you need to do. But then you get the ones that are like, here are these pictures, follow these exactly, don't stray from it. So it's cool to see the spectrum.
Absolutely. If someone has a little tweak like that after they see it, are you just doing that complimentary? Or are you charging them additional?
No, that's complimentary.
Has it ever gotten out of hand if someone sees something and they like want like a really big tweak? Because that's very nice of you to do that complimentary. But listen, that doesn't mean go and change your cake.
Don't go, but right? On. It always, at the end of the day, like when we are doing what we are doing, it always is going to come down to this is what they paid for.
Absolutely.
And if it is what they paid for and truly what they were charged for, like we are going to make sure that they're happy. Kathy has always been very adamant on the fact of it's so much more important to make sure that somebody is happy and wanting to return and wanting to like have those happy memories rather than like having somebody be upset or potentially like thinking their wedding day is ruined because the gold is slightly off. We would rather just take the time to fix that and do things the right way instead of potentially either losing a customer, having an unhappy bride, unhappy mother-in-law, unhappy mom, whatever it may be. So most of the time it's nothing that we're going to charge you again for. It's just something that we want to make sure that you're happy and we have that, returning customer and satisfaction there. So
that's beautiful because we've talked in this podcast multiple times about how the wedding industry can be and has become in some areas impersonal. Unfortunately, right?
Yeah,
but everything you're saying there is the complete opposite, and that is really nice to hear and see that you actually truly care about your couples. That's wonderful. When it comes to couples caring about how the cake looks versus how it tastes, and we were just mentioning it's kind of funny because I've had two specifically full-scale clients more recently that they really wanted to taste the cake. They cared so much about it. And they made it more difficult than I expected. We probably went and tasted like 4 cakes and I had to stop them. I was like, listen, you're picking at this point. Which I thought was interesting. To me, cake's delicious and it is what it is. I mean, you have to like really have a bad cake, I think, to like not want to.
To not like it. It's cake.
Like, okay. But I just thought that's very interesting that I guess, like you said, it depends on the couple. But I'm, as a wedding planner, I'm kind of more for the aesthetic part of it. And then I'm just there to enjoy the cake during the tasting. It works for me.
For sure.
Love when they ask me to come along.
You're like,
it's
absolutely.
Nice. It's nice. But Maddy, you mentioned the vintage cake trend. How long do you think that's going to stick around for? Because what are we, like on kind of 2 years now?
I was going to say it's like 2-3 years almost. And it is so interesting because I was talking to my fiance about that last night because I show him cakes constantly, whether it'll be like, because he works up front. So I always like to see like, what do you think you would charge for, we play that game of like, what would you charge for this? Or like, I like this. I kind of want this for my birthday cake this year. Like stuff like that. So we were talking about the vintage cakes and definitely seems like, I don't want to say we're easing out of the trend because I don't think we are quite yet, but it seems like we're modernizing the trend. Almost. So where it's like, we still have that vintage piping, but we're adding modern elements. So whether it's like adding the bows is a huge thing recently. It's like adding ribbon, or it's the cherries, the animal prints. There's ones that will have the real vintage piping, or it'll be like mermaid themed, and there's just like seashells all over, like different things like that. So, or having the edible images in the center, and it's a burn away cake. So and it's both of those things. So it's definitely interesting to see. It's like these trends are coming back, but they're coming back and then they're staying for a little bit and then we're kind of modernizing it. So it's like, I don't know. I really like the kind of overly obnoxious piping just because I think piping's gorgeous.
Yes.
Like I love piping.
Yeah.
So I hope it sticks around for a little while.
Right?
But yeah, I do hope that we keep making those like modern tweaks to it because it is so much fun. I don't know. Like you said, we're on almost year 3 here and it seems like it's going pretty strong.
It does, doesn't it?
I think people like that handmade like touch though. But yeah, it seems like we're trying to dial it back a little bit now. Either it's like you like the overly kind of in the most loving way, like obnoxious.
Right.
You love the overly obnoxious or you like the simplistic piping. But I don't know. I do hope it sticks around, but it seems like it'll be here for a little while. Or we'll just kind of slowly transition into
slow phase.
Another old cake trend. I hope we go back to like the old early like late 90s, early 2000s type cakes where they were just like very bright and colorful and just like obnoxious. I like it. I like the obnoxious kind of.
I agree.
Yeah. It's like, let's do the fun stuff.
I agree. We had a couple last year. Actually, they made their own cake. And this scenario it worked out, which we'll talk about that kind of later too, making your own cake. But they did that very bright pink vintage look, and it was actually really cute. Yeah. I was like, wait a second. I kind of love this. We'll see. This whole trending stuff is interesting.
We're going strong, but...
Going strong. What the next trend might be, God only knows. Bright colors. We'll see more bright colors. So how about that? How about that? So obviously we're in Pittsburgh. This podcast is called The Cookie Table. The Cookie Table is a huge thing in Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
Duh. So the tradition with that is obviously family bakes the cookies. It's about family coming together and baking them. As a business, though, what is your thoughts on that? How much do you wish you would bake more of the cookies? And how much are you baking for cookie tables?
Okay.
Kind of a two-part question.
Yeah. I feel like that kind of, oh my gosh, it's so exciting. Because cookie table, I love cookie tables. I think cookie tables are the greatest invention in the whole wide world. And like even, I lived down in Florida. I was in Walt Disney World for about like 5-6 years.
Nice.
And there are no bakeries down there. It's like Publix and the grocery stores, and then you'll get a few little places here and there. There are no bakeries. So there are no cookie tables really. And it's like, so when my fiance came up here and we're talking about, getting married and the cookie table and everything, it was kind of a new concept to him. But we really enjoy it because, like you said, with the family coming together, we are taking it as the family coming together, but also we're using it as an opportunity to kind of visit different small businesses in the area. Okay. And kind of just take all of what Pittsburgh has to offer. So it's going to be like a very big thing, obviously. But
that's beautiful.
Yeah. So I think just having because, maybe one bakery in particular doesn't have all of what you like. And, but to answer your question, as far as the difference of what we bake and do you think it kind of lessens as a bakery? So it varies on the couple. Yeah. There are some couples that come in and every single one of the cookies on their cookie table, they will order from us. And there are some couples that'll get maybe like 2 or 3 different variation of cookie from us. And the rest is being made by their aunt, their mom, a different bakery, whoever it may be. I think that's beautiful in every different way. Yeah. Because there, it varies too, because there are some cookies that people at home just do not want to touch. Yeah. Like we, one of our very popular cookies is the Georgia peach cookies. It's an Italian wedding cookie. They're very finicky. It's like 2 to 3 day process when you were like really doing these cookies properly. Like having to worry about a 2 to 3 day process cookie on top of your wedding and then like all the other cookies they have to bake. So it's like, let's just, call the bakery up for that.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Pick and choose.
So,
and then, don't kill yourself.
Exactly. Like even down to just the jelly teas. It's like it is a fairly simple cookie in theory, but it is like it's a lot of steps. Sugaring the cookies, cutting out the little middle parts. You have to make the tops and bottoms, and so it is a bunch of different steps. But I think it's interesting. However, they do end up going about it, but it's fun to see how much they do get from us because you can definitely tell when it's like, oh, this is going to be a big cookie table, and then. It's fun sometimes to see when they tag us on like social media or if we get pictures back from the wedding of seeing the whole spread all together. Yeah. Being like, oh, they added so much more. They got more from other places. And it's like that's what they got from us. Yeah. But either way, I think it's so cool to kind of be a part of that like family tradition in a way
special.
too.
Yes.
Yeah, because you do get all these people too that will come in. They're getting married or they get engaged or whatever, and it's like, I got her 4th birthday cake from you, and now I'm gonna get her wedding cake from you. So it is very much so like it's a family affair of like we have been around for so long that we have become traditions to these people as well. So it's fitting to be a part of their tradition, the wedding as well. So
the family tradition.
Yeah, the family tradition.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Some vendors have randomly, casually said to me over the years, like, they got everything baked. What's the point? That's not the point of the cookie table. And some people are very offended by that family isn't baking the cookies. And I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe their family, they don't have a lot of family here. But they want to do it here, or everyone's traveling, or I don't know. Do you have a strong opinion on that? What are your thoughts?
No, I feel like you said, there's different circumstances, obviously. Yeah. But then, there are also some of those family members that you maybe wouldn't rather have them bake.
That's a very good point.
Maybe you don't want their cookie. No.
Yeah, it's true. Hey, it's true.
That, or it's just like, it's, you don't want to overstep your boundaries and be like, assume that people have time for things.
That's true.
Be like, yeah, you are making these cookies for my cookie table, right? And it's like,
that's very true.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think it is cool because it does. You can vary. Weddings are so.
You can do what you want.
You do what you want. Weddings, you do what you want. But weddings, that's the fun thing about weddings is they are so customizable, and it's just like every single wedding is so different, and every single couple is so different that it is so interesting to be like see what their priority list is. Right. To be like, go ahead, buy them all from a bakery, or no, I would rather have mom bake all of these or whatever it may be, but. No, I think, do what you please, but I think the blending is...
The blending's cool.
The blending's cool,
blending's cool. I definitely recommend making your own and buying some cookies. Why the heck not? But I don't personally recommend baking your own wedding cake. People do it. Sometimes it works out. Do you ever have couples come in there for cookies and they don't want you to do the cake? Or just a general opinion on you shouldn't bake your own cake? Let's hear it.
I know. Yeah, I saw that.
And why, if you feel that way?
It's a very interesting question. It's so interesting because there are some families that we will just get cookie orders for weddings.
They want to save money.
Yes, they do want to save money. And I definitely respect that angle. And if it is someone who does have a little bit of experience, even if you don't have a lot of experience, at the end of the day, yes, it is a decor piece, but it is also cake. Yeah. At the end of the day. Yeah. So it is like, as long as you're happy with how it tastes and the way it looks, because there are some very simple designs that are like, it's a sloppy iced cake and then you stick fresh flowers on top. Yeah. Sure. Okay. You can do that at home if you want, but, it's when we go back to talking about, it being a decor piece, how important is that to you? Where it's like, do you want it to look like you made it at home? Yeah. There are some people, it's like, would you even be able to tell if you made it at home? But I don't know. I do see a bunch of brides on TikTok and stuff that I saw this one recently where it was like, she made mini wedding cakes for almost every single guest in her party.
Holy cow.
I was like, why?
Yeah.
But it was also
God bless her for having that much time.
Cool that you have that much. Yeah, exactly. And it's amazing that you have that much time and you're not stressed out in your wedding planning process enough to make mini wedding cakes for every single one of your guests. That's amazing.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's
Share
crazy.
that time with some of us.
Please.
We would like to have it.
That's crazy. But in the best way. But I think it's definitely you get what you
pay for.
And 100%. It's you get what you make at home. But I don't know, I did mention that to my fiance and we were both kind of like, no. Even with me being a decorator, I don't want to make my own wedding cake. Yeah. Which it's like, if you do, I guess the more power to you, but it's like, I don't want to touch that thing. That's one more thing where it's like, I don't want to worry about it. And I also really love the other decorators that, I work with. And it's like, I really want you to make my wedding cake for me. So it's fun. It's cool. But
I think when couples do decide to make their own cake, and I know it's rare, but it seems like, people are doing it. I think they're underestimating the delivery part of it as well. You can't just, it depends how big, I guess you want to do the cake too, but people thinking that that's not a problem getting it to the venue on their own. And like, if you do that, you need to make sure someone's in the front seat with you holding it. Yeah. And, you know, how is the refrigeration? Like, is there a fridge available that's going to fit that in there? Like, there's all these things that go into it. But it's like, if you just have a bakery make your cake and deliver it, you're not going to have to worry about any of it.
Literally anything. Our delivery drivers are so amazing and wonderful to where it's like, you won't even know they're there half the time. Yeah. It's like they're literally just pop in and out, you know, communicate with who they need to communicate with. Sometimes the brides do pop out and thank them, and, you know.
That's very sweet, yeah.
But they're all prepared to go with their little kit, too, in case any accidents were to happen or anything like that. So they're great. Yeah, I think even down to if you were to ever even just make a birthday cake at home and then you finish making the cake and it's all decorated and then you're like, wait, I don't have a box or like anything for this to travel with. It's like, so I'm just going to have to sit with this cake. So yeah, there's just so many things that you do not think about that go into making cake or especially a wedding cake that why add more to what you already have to worry about? But again, if you do have that time and that luxury, that's amazing. Yeah. Great. But that's interesting.
It is.
I don't know if I'd be brave enough to do that. But
I sure as heck wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Yeah. Leave it to the professionals. Yeah, some things I think are just better to leave to the professionals.
Yeah.
With the cookie table, I did want to ask you, Maddy, what is your recommendation for how many cookies per guest people should be getting? Okay. This is a big one. This is a big question. I have a lot of strong opinions on it.
Okay. So
no right or wrong answer. I just have strong opinions.
To where it's like, I think, I said that I'm going to be very obnoxious with my cookie table to where it's like, I think the desserts are going to be more prominently featured than dinner. Or even dancing or anything like that. It's going to be very dessert heavy because that's just the line of business I'm in.
Oh yeah, good for you. Go for it.
So I want everybody there to just have as many freaking cookies as you want. And if you want to take home some, please take some home.
Yeah.
Even the like staff, anyone, like please indulge because it's like, we're sharing love with everybody. It's like that's what the day is about. But yeah, I think the more the merrier. Why not? I mean, like, if there's cookies, have them. But
okay, all right.
Yeah, especially if you're gonna have the cake. But no, what's your thoughts? What's your? Yeah.
So as a wedding planner, I see so much waste.
That's the thing. Yeah, I don't see that. I'm just producing, so it's like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I see so much waste, and it's a shame. And when it comes to cookies, like the very, very old school number that the like intense Facebook groups are recommending is like 12 per person.
Oh, okay.
Which I think is absolutely fucking absurd.
That's crazy. Like a dozen cookies.
I think it's crazy.
Yeah.
One, does your crowd drink? If they drink, they're not going to eat all those cookies.
They're not worried about the cookies. Yeah.
They're just not. So I'm personally say about 4 to 5. You could do 4 to 6 if you want people to take some home. And usually when people follow that recommendation, they are taking a Tupperware container of that home, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Which is good, yeah.
It works out. It's how I feel.
That's useful. That's good information. That is.
I have had some couples feel like, and like usually their moms, feel so defeated at the end of the night looking at me like, there's so many cookies.
It's nothing you did wrong. Your cookies are gross, I promise. But yeah, they weren't worried about your cookies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not everyone's going to take them home either.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that I have personally seen. That's my own personal recommendation.
No, that's true. The alcohol is a good point too, especially with, if you do have an open, whatever the case may be. But yeah, that's good. Stew
on that. Take that home with you.
Yeah. Well, because I know that my fiance was very much so like, each person maybe like you said, like he says a half dozen, which I'm like, okay.
That's fine. That's fine. I think 6 is fine. That's the max.
That's about what he said, because we were going over the different styles of cookies and whatnot we wanted. And he was like, well, I feel like if everybody gets like a half dozen, that's good.
Okay.
But me, I'm like, just me. Like
a billion.
Yeah, as many cookies as you need. But yeah, like you said, I just see the producing side of it. That's fair. It's so interesting to see like, and what these brides like anticipate too of what you think that you're going to need.
Yeah.
Because also, like, me saying that unlimited cookies is also kind of crazy because, like, my party is only going to be about 50 people.
Okay.
So I'm having a very small wedding.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't need unlimited cookies.
Yeah.
I don't need a crazy amount of cookies. But, yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even, it's not even something you think about. But, yeah, I also don't like that waste. And it's like, yeah, I want something to be sent home with everybody. I'm very much so I don't want food being left over.
Yeah.
So you need to take it. But
yeah. Please, at least make the boxes, right, and take them home. Please.
Yeah.
But, I try to, and then I take them home, and half the time I'm like,
they said that.
yeah, I'm like terrible at that stuff.
Yeah,
that's so bad, but I hate
it happens.
Oh my goodness. Maddy, I want to talk to you about faux cakes, fake cakes. So a lot of people will do a beautiful 3-tiered cake, but the majority of it is styrofoam. And there is just a piece available to cut out in the bottom of it to do like the formal cake cutting ceremony, so to speak. Some bakeries will do the top tier as the real cake, which I think from a cutting standpoint, that looks silly. I personally think when the fake the piece is in the bottom, it looks more natural.
Just right in front of you.
But explain what the point of that is. Why are we seeing that so much more? Because it feels like the cost is the same.
Just about the same.
To get a 3-tiered real cake versus a 3-tiered fake decorating cake, it really is truly the same.
Yeah.
Not always, but close.
Pretty much, because if you think like most of these cakes or whatever it may be are being charged most of the time by decoration.
Yes.
You're paying that base cake price, but then it's like the decorations is really what does you in at the end of the day. It is so interesting because it is like if you're paying that much, just
do the real cake.
Just buy the cake. But then it also goes into like what you're saying with the waste.
Yes.
Maybe not everybody eats cake. Maybe they don't like cake. I don't. It's so. But yeah, the extravagance of it all. It's like if you're going to be that extravagant, then just make it all real cake. But it is interesting. I think we have gotten a few that were a little faux, or there were elements of it that were, there might have been like a clear tier at one. I don't know. We have had that though. But it's even still like most of the time, if it is a faux cake, they'll get like a sheet cake or a cake to go along with it. So it is interesting because it is just like,
you start to think, why? Why actually are we doing this? Yeah.
Yeah. It is interesting because, when you're decorating in the bakery side of things, you're using the faux cakes for just that, to display like your decoration and have it be faux. But it's like, at a wedding, it's like you're just sitting there. So I guess it does, it goes back into the being a showpiece and decoration element and being an important part of your wedding if you feel it needs to be an important part of your wedding. But
you don't want the waste potential if you don't think people are going to eat it.
Yeah.
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 Do you think it's silly if someone has a 3-tiered faux cake? Again, I know you're not at the wedding, but this is what I see. A 3-tiered faux cake, and then it goes away, and then no one gets a piece of cake.
It's like,
do you think that tricks people?
I think that's a little tricky, just because it's like it's like walking into a birthday party, and you walk into a birthday party, and you're like, well, wait, where's the cake and the ice cream? It is a little bit deceiving of being like, well, I thought we were going to have cake. So yeah, it just kind of boils down to what's the point?
Yeah.
It's interesting though.
It is. It's an interesting conversation. I think like waste is a great point. And then I think if you're having maybe a summer outdoor wedding.
That too.
Right? And you want this extravagant looking cake, but you don't want it to melt. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a good point to do that.
That could, that I could see that as a reason. But then, it is kind of crazy because it is just like, well, maybe just have a 1 or 2 tier folk. I don't know, but it's like, it's
maybe a lot of good points.
It's so interesting though. But I wonder what these brides think about. It's so like, it is just so customizable to everybody of like what's important to you. But thankfully, I've never been to a wedding with a faux cake because I would personally be a little bit upset. But
then so you see the fake cake, you don't get served cake. On the contrary, you see the couple cut a small cake and then everybody gets served cake. Do we think guests actually, how much do they care about these like trickery things with the cake?
I was so excited to talk about this one because this is what I'm doing.
Okay. A lot of people do it.
Yeah. So like I can speak for my personal reasoning for it. Is because my fiance and I want a very different flavored wedding cake that isn't a crowd pleaser.
Very good point.
So in that sense, we're being a tiny bit selfish of being like, well, we want this for us. Second thing is that we're doing the sheet cake so that everybody does have cake and has that crowd pleaser cake in addition to our amazing cookie table.
Yeah.
But we also are, being that we work in a bakery, we know what things cost.
Yes.
So it's like having that from the jump, though, we were always like, we don't want a big tiered wedding cake. It's just not our style either. But I think we are going to go for about like a 6 or an 8 inch wedding cake that is decorated, with our theming and our colors and all of that good stuff. And then we are going to have our separate sheet cake that comes out for everybody else. And as far as like, I would be interested to see what people think or like what their opinions are about it as far as, a guest perspective.
I know.
But at the same time, it is like, you're still getting cake.
For sure.
You're getting cake.
For sure.
And not in my case, it's not going to be the same one. But you're still getting the same cake. Yeah. It might not be from that little tiny or, that fake tier or whatever it may be, but it's like you're still getting the cake. But that's just our own little personal cake. I think it's also a little bit more helpful, too, for the couple to... I know there's the tradition of, saving a slice for a year or even, saving the top tier or whatever it might be in your freezer. And who knows how long it'll live there. But having that and, so you don't have so much of it. You just have your own little personal tier cake to worry about. But
yes. And yes, sheet cake costs less than a tall decorated cake. Right?
It does.
So I think
substantially.
Yeah. So I think doing the small cake for yourself and then sheet cake in the back makes more sense financially than... the tall faux cake and then still serving cake.
Also, the poor staff having to worry about cutting that big tier cake.
Yes.
Make it easy for them. Have a scored sheet cake that they just need to hand out. And so just make it easier for everybody.
Yes. That's a really good point. I've been in scenarios where I've had to cut the tiered cake and like try to take it off and it's
obnoxious.
Obnoxious and scary.
Yeah, that too. Because then it's like, you've got the pressure of you're going to ruin the entire centerpiece.
Yes.
Scary.
Scares me. I would love to hear a guest perspective though. I've never heard anyone like say anything funny about cake.
That's interesting,
but if you are a guest and you have an opinion on this, please comment on the episode because I would love to know what everyone's thinking when they see that. It's interesting for sure. Now, I wanted to ask you as well, are bakers mad about the want and need for cake seeming to be less? Like I said, I've thrown away cookies. I've thrown away whole sheet cakes because the couple like literally like they see it, they get overwhelmed. They're like, we can't even take this back with us. We have nowhere to put it in the hotel. What are we going to do? I've thrown it away. So how do you feel about cake just not being as hot as a commodity, it feels
in
like?
Demand. Yeah. Yes. It's definitely interesting, but it does seem like the focus kind of shifts. I guess with me being head of the cookie department, I've noticed that if there is, we talked about that a little bit earlier, like it seems like if there is less of a need or if they're not having as much cake, it does sometimes seem like the focus will shift towards cookies. Or different pastries, like the little petit fours or, whatever it may be. The more individual desserts, even like cannolis and things like that, cupcakes sometimes. But really big thing, at least in our bakery, is the assorted like cookie trays. Okay. So big. To where it's like they might have the smaller wedding cake and then just a few of the trays around it. And they'll have the kind of nice design elements from the cutouts or the cookies on there to kind of suffice for the cake. But I've done so many different wedding cookies. I feel like sometimes they go with the big tiered things, and it's fun to like look into the cake room and see them doing the matching cake to your cookies. And sometimes it's just like, oh, they're just getting cookies, or they're just so it's interesting that they all vary. But it definitely does seem it's like they're not just getting rid of a dessert element entirely. It seems like they're kind of shifting or doing something different.
That's good.
Yeah.
Especially being again in Pittsburgh with the cookie table, this is unique, and that's if someone is listening from outside of Pittsburgh and you're like, what is that? It changes the game a little bit because we already have a bunch of desserts that we're planning for, so not having so much cake isn't as big as a deal, a breaker. So that's all a really good point. very, very random question I wanted to ask, because I have noticed and seen like some kind of in-home bakers do this, and I'm just curious, how far in advance can you bake a decorated cake and it still taste good? Like it be baked, decorated in the fridge. What's the shelf life on that?
It's interesting because it like depends on what you have available to you. Like my freezer at home would not be able to accommodate cake.
Yeah.
I can't really accommodate the frozen vegetables I have, like let alone
Right.
like cake and cookies and all of that. But it's so interesting. I don't think it is. No, like me personally, I think that freezing and refrigerating are like the two different things. So it's like I feel like you can freeze elements earlier if you were to like bake off the cake and have it in your freezer frozen.
Okay.
I feel like that's like a step less that you don't really need to worry about. If it's wrapped, and really well and stored really well, I feel like you can get away with it a little bit earlier than if you were completely to build it all and assemble it all, have it fully decorated. I feel like it would only last maybe a week refrigerated, maybe.
Okay. That's pushing it.
That's pushing it. Yeah, that's like
pushing it.
You might but it's like I said, if you have it assembled and you have that icing on it, that icing does so much work to keep that cake moist.
Okay.
So especially like I know I see a lot of people, a lot of home bakers or different bakers, they'll soak the cake with like simple syrup or whatever to add moisture to it. That's not something we personally do at the bakery because we're baking so frequently and they are so fresh. Like they're just constantly in rotation. We don't sit on cake a lot. But when it is something like that and it is only going to be for this one occasion, there are steps that you can take to have it last longer in a refrigerator or in a freezer. Okay. So if there are any brides that are making your own cake
now
for whatever reason, you can do that. But fully assembled, I think you're pushing it at about a week.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, a week leading up to your wedding, it's like, do you want to have, it's a big week. Yeah.
It is a big week. So for pastries, when are you making and decorating the cake for a wedding?
I'm like, it's so interesting too, because I feel like people have such a different perspective of like what they think happens at a bakery, to where it's like, I truly think that some people walk into a bakery and because you do get people that walk in and they want a tier cake or a birthday cake for the same day or the next day. And it's like, do you know how a bakery? Like we have to bake it. It has to cool. You have to assemble it. You have to decorate it, all of that kind of good stuff. Assemblage usually takes place the day before they decorate. Okay. So they will assemble the cake. They'll crumb coat it. And then they will set it in the fridge overnight to solidify so that they can decorate. I have seen wedding cakes be decorated hours before a wedding. So it's like, they are that.
I think that's great. I mean, that's fresh as you can get.
You're not getting much fresher.
That's wonderful.
If anything, like, it's really not long. It would be like a day or two in advance that, like, if anything, and it's mainly just because of the fact that it's like either a decorator might not be there, or it's like this needs to be ready because it's going out on a certain shipment, to a certain venue or whatever it may be. There's so many different elements. But yeah, it's very fast. So where it's like, it's not as fast as they think it is as far as like getting everything baked in it, but it's a process, but it's a pretty fast process. Because they're very, they know what they do. They're very good at what they do. But yeah, usually the assemblage and all of the setting is the day before. Then they're decorating the next day. They scare me sometimes as far as like how close. Because it's like, ooh,
you gotta go.
It's like you really trust yourself. But it's so cool to see too, because it's like, no, I'll have it done in like 5-10 minutes. Like it's crazy. And then it's like, just a whole beautiful wedding cake right there. And done, and then it's out the door, and it's at the wedding that day. So it's pretty crazy.
So there you have it, the freshest cakes.
You're getting fresh
from
cake.
Pastries A-La-Carte.
Yeah, you're getting very fresh cake.
I love that.
Yeah.
Aside from the cake being very fresh, Maddy, I will leave you with this. Why should people hire Pastries A-La-Carte over other bakeries in Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Give a little pitch.
Like, why shouldn't they?
Yeah.
But, first thing is that, hey, we've been along for very long time, and that you had mentioned that before we even had our establishment in the Pleasant Hills, Kathy was baking out of her own home for a very long time. I've seen her little photo albums and everything of the setup that she had in her house, and it has brought tears to my eyes from like seeing what she started with to where we are now. After I was on Talk Pittsburgh the other day, I was dove into this rabbit hole of like all these different interviews that they have done in the past.
Cool.
So I was finding videos from like 13, 14 years ago, and they're talking about the state of the bakery that we were in. When the bakery opened, we were just one little shop. We're 3 now of that area. So we have taken over 3 storefronts.
Wow.
And like we're only growing. We're only picking up more accounts. Like we're only picking, it's just growing daily. But from the time Kathy has been baking into her home to now, she's had artisans taking care of everything as far as decorating. So it was like I was watching these videos from 14 years ago, and she's talking about the fact that she hires artists to do these cakes. Still, that if you ask Kathy who she's going to hire to do these cakes and to like decorate these cookies, she's going to say she hires artists. Having a pastry background is great. Having a decorating background is great. But personally speaking, and I know a lot of the other decorators in the bakery, we did not have any sort of pastry or decorating experience before we started. It is either all self-taught or it is just learning from each other. But at the end of the day, it's literally just having a passion for what we do. And to where it's like, you would think like after decorating, I decorated like, I'm not exaggerating, 500 cookies yesterday. And like preparation for like wholesale orders, Valentine's Day, everything like that. You'd think like, I don't want to even look at another cookie ever again, but like I will still go home at the end of the day and I will still be scrolling on Pinterest for like inspiration for the next cookie I can do and like different cake designs. So I think that, when you work at Pastries A-La-Carte, it's like a genuine love of what you do. And like a genuine want to further your craft and like further your techniques. Nothing is ever pushed on us. We don't have any like set designs. Someone asked me that recently to where they were like, so do you have set designs that you have to do every day? Like, do you have to make the same cookie every day? Do you have to make like the same cake every day? No, she gives complete creative freedom.
That's amazing.
Where it's like, I could make a different cookie every single day if I wanted to. We've done so many different pop culture events as far as like when, K-pop Demon Hunters was huge this last summer to where we were doing stuff for that to where it's like, we have Mario Day and all of that coming up to where it's like we celebrate like the little things in the bakery and it's these things that you can't get anywhere else at any of these different bakeries because, some of these places to where they are in the position to where we're in a very fortunate position as well to have all of these, this great demand and these wholesale accounts and but to still have that creative freedom that a lot of these other bakeries do not, to where it is very much so, not to, generic, but it is very much so this is the design, you follow it, and everything is the same. It's not like that at Pastries, to where if you walk in and look at our cake showcase, every single one of those cakes is different. You're not going to find 2 cakes that look the same. And that was what brought me into the place, was like before I had even worked there, I was just coming in and looking at everything. I think I even tagged us in some social media stuff, being like, this stuff is so cute, it's adorable. And then it's like a few months later, I'm working there and, getting to do all of this cool stuff. So I think it's just a genuine, we care. And we're always trying to do something different. We're always trying to find new techniques, new flavors. We started a savory line, which was something that Kathy had always said she was never going to do. And then we did it and it, has been doing well. And
what's a savory line?
So we've done some pepperoni rolls. We've been doing bacon jalapeno cheddar pinwheels. They did some spanakopita. We did like some sourdough this past summer. So they've been playing with that sort of stuff. We also, like I said earlier, we like introduced coffee. So I like that they're never just so shoehorned into one thing that they don't even want to like look at any other avenues or, you know, that they find success in one place to where it's like they won't let you test the waters anywhere else. It's really amazing because I can go up to them with anything and be like, hey, I want to do this or I want to try this. And I've never gotten a no or not now for an answer. It's like we work with even like animal rescues of, you know, partnering with them and being able to do cookies for them and, you know, have a profit. It's really interesting. So it's like, it's so cool to not be shoehorned in and being like, so we have a lot of freedom and we
That's
care.
how you keep employees. That's how you keep good ones right there too. I love that. True passion. True passion for cookies. Love of cookies.
I love cookies.
The true artist of true artist of all of Pittsburgh bakeries. I love it. Maddy Hernandez, again, she runs the cookie room at Pastries A-La-Carte.
I do.
Again, located in Pleasant Hills, pastriesAlacarte.com. Thank you so much for joining the cookie table. It means a lot.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.